I don't know about you, but for me, there's always been something special about Sony PlayStation handheld hardware. I'm not going to tell you that Sony's handheld offerings have been the best on the market, the best available. I mean, look, the market chose, and they chose Nintendo every time. Although I'm not going to tell you that the PSP was a failure like a lot of people would, because it sold over 70 million units worldwide. That's not a failure unless you're comparing yourself to the DS, in which case, yeah, everyone fails but them. Whether it was that original PSP, the iterations of the PSP, like the PSP Go, or even the PlayStation Vita later on, which I absolutely adored and spent hundreds of hours playing all sorts of indie games as well as big games like Uncharted on that Vita. Loved the Vita. There's just something about PlayStation portable hardware that just gets me excited. I love the Game Boy Advance. The Game Boy Advance, the SP was awesome. The DS Lite was awesome. I have the Switch, all great. But there's something about Sony's version. And ever since the death of the Vita, it's kind of been weird. We've kind of had this void in the gaming world. Sony has experimented with, portable gaming by using phones like the Xperia Play, which had a, set of controls underneath a slide-up screen. But they've never really done anything to truly replace the Vita. And that may be because they've realized somewhere along the way that to compete with Nintendo directly head-on, game system for game system with the same sort of concept, with mobile phones being a problem for them as well, just really isn't going to work well. They're going to have to give you something different, and that might be where the rumors for what they're calling the PSP 5G might actually be interesting. So to elaborate, what we have here in front of us is a report that Sony is working on a new version of the PSP that will run 5G and will be essentially a target for streaming games to your console. So rather than necessarily playing the games natively on this device, you will be using the ability of a 5G network, or presumably a Wi-Fi network, to stream the games to your handheld, which would allow you to play games of a fidelity that would far outstrip anything you have on any other handheld on the market. Now, before we dig any deeper, I have to say up front that I've looked at this article, I've looked around the internet, and all I can really see to back up this rumor is just people saying there's a rumor of a PlayStation Portable 5G. I can't find a quote, I can't find a patent that really indicates that this is a thing at all. If there's something out there that I've missed that didn't get picked up anywhere, I'd love to see it. Drop it in the comments down below. But right now, this is a rumor to the umpteenth degree. That being said, what would this sort of a thing look like? Well, honestly, I'm struggling to understand why it needs to exist, because we can already stream games to our phone. Essentially, all they would be doing potentially would be strapping a controller permanently around a phone. We already have a phone. Why not just get a controller and a little adapter to hold your phone in and do that? We can already do that with Game Pass xCloud streaming. In fact, Sony has this working with their Xperia phones already. Their Xperia phones are quite good, so why not? I mean, maybe just make an Xperia phone with a controller that comes with it, or revive the Xperia Play and do something like that. If you're going to go this route, the thing is going to have to be relatively cheap, because the idea of buying and carrying a secondary device just to do something that your primary device can already do seems to not make a ton of sense to me. Or this thing would have to have a good enough processor in it. Hell, slap a Snapdragon 888 in there and let it be able to run whatever game you want, and then make it the only thing that is certified to stream games from your PS5 to your PSP 5G. Make it a companion to the PS5 or something like that, and maybe you have something to sell there. But honestly, I mean, it's kind of, to me, maybe Sony trying to do what the Switch does. So you can take your Switch home, put it in the dock, play on your TV. When you're going to leave, take it out, take it with you, and play. Well, what Sony's thinking is, why do I need to, with the Switch, you take it out of the dock and your experience degrades, because now you're in handheld mode. It has to throttle the TDP down, use less power, so the visuals get worse. With this type of a technology, with 5G being proliferated eventually, and then strong Wi-Fi available to you perhaps, you wouldn't have to have any degradation in the visual quality of what you're playing. You just keep this thing in your pocket when you go. You just continue playing on this handheld in full fidelity, as long as the input latency is taken care of, and they can do something to make that work, which theoretically they can do more because it's not something that's being strapped onto an existing phone platform. It could be something that they've worked from the ground up. Maybe there's something more that they can do there to combat latency. Who knows? To me, that's what this concept sounds like. It sounds like another way of doing what the Nintendo Switch already does. So guys, pretty thin rumor here. I'm seeing a lot of stuff going around, and when you look into it, there's not really much there, but I thought it's worth talking about, if not for just a thought exercise, I guess, you know, just for fun. So what do you guys think of the idea of a new PlayStation Portable? Would you like to see this cloud streaming handheld, or would you like to see Sony just make an actual gaming handheld? Again, I'd probably prefer that over the streaming thing, but that's me. What would you guys like to see? Let me know in the comments down below. That's all I have for you on this one. So stay tuned for more coverage. Like this video. And until next time, stay nerdy, my friends. If you enjoy my content, please consider becoming a Scary If Literal member. You'll get access to a whole bunch of emoticons to use with live streams and a shout out on an upcoming video. Thanks as always for your continued support.